other countries, because other countries, although they have also suffered on economic challenges, they have already recovered, like China. But it remains to be a challenge in the Philippines. But the government is doing its best, according to Secretary Lopez. That's why we are starting to open up the economy, because, of course, we also want to recover, especially on the unemployment rate.
All right. Now, during a co-team visit, we have spokesman Roque saying that the government is actually managing very well, and I quote, with regard to the COVID-19 pandemic or the handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. What did Roque mean by this exactly?
You know, Sean, it has always been his tone. From the start of the pandemic, ever since since January, February, March of 2020, ever since the critics have already started critiquing the government, the steps of the government, his tone has always been the government is doing very well. If we compare the number of cases of COVID all over the world, he always mentioned that the number of COVID cases in the Philippines is still under control of the government. And he always mentioned that we still have enough facilities to handle all these COVID cases. That has always been his tone.
All right, well, we can't say that he's not consistent, but we also have spokesman Roque announcing new guidelines that have been set for the entry of foreign nationals. Can you dig deeper into this? Which foreign nationals can finally come to the country?
If we based it on the statement of Secretary Roque earlier, he mentioned that there are actually, we will follow once again the omnibus guidelines, which was released by the IATF prior to the discovery of the new UK variant, meaning there are a list of foreign nationals which will be allowed to enter the country. It doesn't matter what the country of origin. So this includes those diplomats, the spouses of Filipinos who wants to come back here in the country, or those who will be issued or be given special permits, like businessmen who will have special activities here in the Philippines. But of course, they are all subject to conditions. For example, the requirement for a 14-day quarantine and the booking for the quarantine sites, which will they or where they will stay in for those 14 days.
All right. Does this include, Maset, those that are, perhaps a parent of a Filipino citizen, but, not married? Because there's a lot of this going around using the hashtag love is not tourism on social media. So, and they also, of course, have been batting for allowing, maybe an unmarried parent of a Filipino child to come into the country. Will that be allowed now, or is it still status quo for them?
It's still status quo for them, Sean. It's still a gray area until now. We've been asking Malacanang about it because we've heard several complaints about those who have partners or foreign partners who cannot come in the Philippines because they don't have marriage certificate. But the requirement of the government remains the same. They still have to prove, or they still have to show some documents which will prove that they are married before they will be allowed to enter the country.
All right, so just to clarify again, Masa, does this mean the government will not be extending this travel ban anymore? At least this travel ban that was put in place because of the new COVID-19 variants, most of it will end, or it will end on January 31. So that's it for the travel ban?
For the travel restrictions, Sean, it will lapse on February 1, meaning it will only be implemented until January 31. I'm referring to those 30-plus countries under travel restrictions. Starting February 1, if we base it on the statement of Secretary Roque, we will implement the omnibus guidelines, which was issued prior to the discovery of the UK variant.
Okay, on a different issue now, what did the palace have to say about the resignation of Baguio City Mayor Ben Magalong? As contact tracing czar, we've already seen all over social media, it's all over that they did not accept his resignation. So what's going to happen now?
Yes, you're right, Sean. Secretary Roque, in his statement earlier, confirmed that they have received the resignation of Baguio City Mayor Magalong as contact tracing czar following the controversy on Tim Yap's birthday celebration in his city. Secretary Roque said that Malacanang, or the president, did not accept the resignation of Mayor Magalong. Although I heard earlier during a television interview that Mayor Magalong mentioned that his resignation is irrevocable. So we still have to wait for the reaction of Malacanang on this statement.
All right, thank you so much for answering all our questions. Maricel Halili joining us live from Mandaluyong City. Members of the National Task Force Against COVID-19 defended Baguio City Mayor Ben Magalong, who attempted to resign as contact tracing czar. Magalong recently drew flack for attending a controversial birthday party in Baguio City. Meanwhile, vaccine czar Carlito Galvez Jr. said that Magalong would be a huge loss to the country's COVID-19 response. Galvez also urged the public to give Magalong the benefit of the doubt.
Napakasakit sa amin nung pinasa nga niya sa akin yung kanyang resignation paper, pero hindi po namin matatanggap. Alam naman natin ang Baguio, ang pinaka main source of its earning is basically on tourism. So maybe tingnan lang po natin yung ulterior motive po, na talagang yung magandang motive po ni Sir Benji.
Testing czar Vince Dizon seconded this, saying Magalong's integrity is unquestionable.
Bihirang-bihira ang isang nagsiservisyo publiko na unang-una humble enough to admit na nagkulang siya at nagkamali siya. Bihirang-bihira natin nakikita yon. No, pero nakita natin, napakalaki po ng sinakripisyo na tinulong dito sa COVID-19 effort na ito.
And a former Food and Drug Administration official does not see any additional benefit from anal swab testing. Dr. Benjamin Ko told 1PH's Sa Totoo Lang that the Philippines does not have to follow China, which initiated the anal COVID-19 testing recently. Ko added that saliva testing is already 98.5% accurate, close to the 99% accuracy rate of PCR testing.
The saliva test would be enough. I just don't think that I'd like my anus being swabbed. You know, I think it's kind of extreme, and I don't see any other additional benefit for science for that for now. I think we can just do with the conventional.
Pausing for a quick break, but we will be back with more stories after that. Stay with us. You are still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. A human rights investigator says it is unacceptable to only dismiss police officers that were involved in President Duterte's war on drugs. In a FOCAP forum, United Nations Special Rapporteur Anye Callamard said that the Justice Department-led drug war review must address the issue of who emboldened the killings. Callamard stressed that the president, down to the police officers, must be included in the DOJ review to ensure accountability. Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara had earlier said that the DOJ submitted a partial report of the drug war review to Duterte. The agency has yet to release this report to the public. And one lawmaker vows to tackle the lower chamber's unfinished business, which includes ABS-CBN's franchise renewal bid. Anak Kalusugan Representative Mike Defensor says he agrees that the franchise bill is now moot, but that they still need to formally come up with a decision. Defensor is calling on his fellow Solons to speak out on the franchise issue before it gets removed from their agenda. On Thursday, Legislative Franchises Committee Chair Franz Alvarez maintained that ABS-CBN's franchise bid is best left to the next Congress.
Siguro naging lenient na lang lahat. Nagkaroon ng tolerance on the unfinished business that's supposed to have been tackled before any of the other business for the day.
And the PBA has partnered with the Philippine Red Cross for its planned vaccination program. League Commissioner Willie Marshall says PBA players and their families will benefit from this program. Marshall also said that the shots will come from AstraZeneca and Moderna. For every dose brought by the league, another one will be donated to various sectors in need. The PBA is also looking to begin saliva testing among its teams. For more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.